This temple, because I mean that is what it is, was built back in the late 1880s, and it has been shrouded in mystery ever since. And not only just the building itself, but the organization that owned the building. And I say owned because it's now been sold to a different company, and they are a completely different thing from what used to be there. But where we're headed to is the Masonic temple, and I'm so excited. Like, beyond excited. I have a friend who actually works there now for the company that owns it, which is a theater company, and they do like dinner theater things. And she has allowed us to be able to come and film, and I am eternally grateful for her because I can't even begin to contain my excitement. I knew about this building when we first moved here, and I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna get in there. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, I don't know who to talk to. And one of my old coworkers was like, yeah, well, my dad's a Freemason. Like, I can probably get you in there if you want. And then literally 3 days later, she started a job there. And she, like, my friend started a job there, and she was like, yeah, I can get you in, it's no problem. So that's where we're headed to. This place has been through a lot, I'm sure, and seen its fair share of tragedies. There's still lots and lots and lots of mysteries surrounding this building, but it is most definitely haunted. The St. John's Haunted Hike actually covers it when you do their hike. We did it back when we first moved here, and they actually take you, you don't go inside, but they take you around and tell you one of the stories that happened there. And yeah, it is interesting to see how embedded the Freemasons were here in Newfoundland before really anything else. One of the prime ministers of Newfoundland back in the 1800s actually was a Freemason for 17 and ran as prime minister for 17 years. So his entire life he was a Freemason and actually laid the cornerstone for the building that we're going to right now. And the original building that was on this piece of land was only constructed out of wood, and it was burnt down in the Great Fire of St. John's. And then they decided that with the $28,000 in insurance money that they got, and that went a long way back then, they decided that they were going to build this grand Victorian temple, and it is a sight to be seen for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Stories that have kind of been heard throughout the times is like there's been a guy seen in workman's boots that is around that place. They don't know what his connection was to it, whether he was actually a member or just a worker, and that's just a residual haunting that's there. And as well as the Red Room, which we are going to get into today, they actually had a wedding in that room because I believe it was the groom his great-grandfather was a Freemason, and they really wanted to have the wedding somewhere that he could be a part of it. And before they sold the building in 2008, they actually had pictures lining the wall of all of the Grand Masters and everything in this room. And as the bride was walking down the aisle, she got to literally right across from where his great-grandfather's picture was, and all the lights went out. And like every single time they kept trying to do the ceremony, it kept happening. And they figured that along with the cold draft that they felt was probably his great-grandfather letting them know that he was there. Keeping in mind that the windows were boarded up at this point already in that room, and so there was no way for light to get in or anything like that. So I'm really excited to see what happens. And then there's the beautiful thing of St. John's that you just drive by old cemeteries all the time. So yeah, we were there about a week ago just to kind of do a preliminary walkthrough and see like what's up, and it was gorgeous. I watched a video that the government actually did on it, and one of the guys was explaining his experiences there. It's like when you walk into the building, it's like a warm hug, and I will definitely say that is the case. We were both very, very, very surprised at how it felt to walk into that building, knowing that there is the potential for an extremely dark history, because nobody really knows what the Freemasons are about. Yeah, I'm excited for what we're about to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel.
Okay, so we are here right now in the Grand Master Ceremony room. Right behind me is where the chair would have been for like the altar. Of course, it's not here anymore because when they sold the building, they took it with them. And right here to my right is probably one of the coolest pieces of history, hands down. This organ was actually gifted to the Masonic temple once it was built. So if you actually come over here, you can see right here it says that the building company was established in 1866. And this place was officially opened in 1884, I believe. This organ right now does not actually play or make noise, but there are actually stories of people hearing it randomly playing while they're just in the building. So I'm really excited to see if maybe we hear the organ playing, because that would be really cool. Unfortunately, we're here also on a night when one of the dinner theaters are happening, so people are downstairs getting ready. We're upstairs in the building, and if you hear any noises that we don't point out and they sound really muffled, it's just people downstairs moving stuff, talking, whatever. If we catch anything in editing that sounds like a whisper or anything like that, obviously I'll point it out. And it's something that we didn't hear, unless we actively say that we heard something that doesn't make sense. So we're just going to be hyper aware of environmental noises that we have right now. Of course, everybody knows that we're up here, so they've actually almost quieted down a little bit. So they don't think we're ghosts on top of that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still really excited to be here, but I'm also still really nervous. This place, it's heavy. It's really heavy, but I'm also comfortable. I'm not on edge to be in here. There is somewhere where we're gonna go that I'm not excited to go in, but I am all at the same time. Yeah. I don't know, man. So the room that we're in right now is the red room. And as you can see, there's no windows in here at all, period. There are no windows. So this is where the wedding took place. And I'm trying to just imagine. You can still see where all the picture hooks were on the wall. I'm just trying to imagine where the pictures were and of her coming down the aisle.
The floor is so creaky.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All the creaking. I'm just gonna put this out there. If there's anybody here in this room or in this building that wants to talk to us, my name is Amber. That's Megan behind the camera, and we're not here to hurt you. We're only here to prove that you exist, prove that you are here, and we just want to talk to you. So if you would like to talk to us, we invite you to come touch one of us, whisper in our ears, go whisper in the camera, or audibly say something as loud as you possibly can, so that hopefully we can capture it on film. I don't know, man. I feel really uneasy.
Yeah, this room's kind of weird. It doesn't feel like the rest of the building.
No.
It just kind of hurts.
Yeah. Like, I feel like so much pressure. And like, I don't remember that feeling when we did the walkthrough.
We didn't really spend any time in here. We kind of walked in, she pointed it out, and then we left.
It's true. Like, could you imagine the things that got done in here? And like the decisions that were made.
It's kind of sketchy.
Like, literally nobody knows anything about them.
It's very secretive. I mean, obviously some people know something about it, but... Like, I wonder if any of this is actually, like, original.
I don't know.
It's all on you. Here.
Just like,
Is there a light on up there? I don't know. There's a light on up there. Oh my god. Do it. Do it. Ignore it. I should have silenced it.
hey, TikTok.
If there's a light on, there wasn't last time we were here. Meaning someone's been up there.
Jesus Christ. I feel like this is the most awkward ladder ever.
Yeah, it kind of just doesn't have a lot of room for your toes, eh?
Nothing.
Take some pictures. And please don't drop it. Careful.
painful.
Careful.
Yeah, it's all insulation.
I kind of figured. It's just their headache, right? It's so pretty. Was that you?
Mm-hmm.
The rustling? No. Honestly, I think it came from in the bedroom. Like, no joke. You're gonna have to check for that. Like, I don't know if it was downstairs. Man, that wind is loud.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. This feels really weird. So, right behind me is actually the trap door. And I'm gonna do something that I never thought I'd say I'd be doing willingly. But we're both gonna go down there and do a session, but then Megan's gonna climb back out and leave a camera with me, and I'm gonna go down there by myself for I don't know how long. And just see if we can capture anything. It's a completely isolated cell. It is completely cemented in. There's literally nothing. So she is actually going to close the door on my head. And I'm gonna go sit down there. Supposedly it is where they kept the people who betrayed them, and God knows what happened to people down there or how long they were down there. So maybe somebody's willing to talk.
Man, that text is so creepy.
That's terrifying.
You wanted it.
But I'm so excited.
You wanted it. Head down. And then I will turn this off and hand the rig down.
No, I'll just leave it running.
The hell was that?
Nothing. You can hear the music.
I told you. I was expecting you to actually get down more. Don't film me. Oh man, it's so dirty. You just smell. Oh man. Oh my god, it's so short. So it's not.
It's drywall.
Yeah, it's not concrete. Like.
Yeah, it's drywall. With brick on the other side, but it's drywall.
Okay, so. Not a concrete cell. Bean. Wide. Oh. Sketchy.
Okay. Because there's a bunch of noise from them practicing, I'm just gonna try and do the touch app ask a few questions because apparently unless something yells into that microphone, we may not actually get any voice at all, which is kind of sad. But we had to work around them, unfortunately, and unless I can get enough traction and get back in here at like 3 a.m, then yeah, it's not gonna happen. So the app again, and like I've explained in the last few videos, if something touches the screen, there will be a little fingerprint that shows up. If there's anybody in here, can you please touch the red button on the screen, preferably in the top left corner?
Holy crap.
Okay, that wasn't the top left corner.
Okay, maybe move over here so I'm not hearing them so much.
Can you do that again? Can you please touch the screen again? Did you share the secrets of the Masons? Is that why you were put down here? If your answer is yes, please touch the screen.
Oh, I just got a cold draft on my leg.
If you feel subconscious about touching the screen, can you say something into that microphone over there? Nice and loud for everybody to hear. Can you scream into that microphone? Is there one person in here? Were you a Freemason? If you were a Freemason, can you touch the screen? Were you a civilian that heard too much?
You keep turning the phone more towards me and it's going to reflect the light so I can't see anything. So just turn it a little bit more away. Thank you.
Would you like it better if I was in here alone? Why do I feel like the light keeps changing?
Oh, seriously? I'm looking at the screen, so I just keep seeing the screen change.
Yeah, I feel like the light keeps getting like brighter and dimmer and brighter and dimmer.
I honestly have been staring at the screen the whole time. And I thought it was just trying to adjust. Okay, so maybe it is actually the light. Okay. Are you planning on sitting? Or are you gonna stand? Because I'm thinking we might be able to just hang this on one of the
Well, yeah, that's what I was
things.
thinking.
Did I just do it again?
I don't know. I actually don't know. We'll have to watch the footage back.
If it did, it happened right as I was getting it back on screen because I thought I saw it on here.
I don't know.
So I don't know if I was just seeing things. Okay.